What is one thing we don't know about Cardi?
She's a really sweet and down-to-earth girl.
This was Saweetie talking all sweet about Cardi B from way back, but things are different between them now. New heated footage shows Cardi B and Saweetie almost coming to blows, and the footage just went viral. But this isn't just about a fight, it's about a secret affair, a destroyed group, a messy divorce, and an NFL breakup that brought all of it back. Here's the full story. The rumor that started it all. Now, before we even get into this new footage that has the entire internet losing its mind, we need to rewind the clock and go all the way back to the very beginning of this whole situation. Because the truth of the matter is, this beef between Cardi B and Saweetie did not just pop up out of thin air one random Tuesday. No, this thing has roots. Deep, tangled, complicated roots that stretch back years. And if you don't take the time to understand where it all started and how it all built up piece by piece, then the footage that just went viral is not going to make a single bit of sense to you. So let's break the whole thing down from the very top. It all goes back to a relationship that, at one point in time, the entire world was rooting for. We're talking about Saweetie and Quavo. These two first got together back in 2018 after Quavo slid into Saweetie's DMs with nothing but a snowflake emoji, which was actually a pretty smooth little nod to her breakout hit Icy Girl. And from that one little emoji, a whole relationship was born. The two of them quickly became one of hip-hop's most talked about couples. We're talking lavish gifts like Birkin bags and a whole Bentley, red carpet appearances where they looked like $1 million, matching outfits, constant social media posts. They were the definition of a power couple in the rap world. Everybody loved them. Everybody wanted what they had. But like so many things in this industry, what looks perfect on the outside doesn't always match what's going on behind closed doors. Because by March of 2021, after roughly 3 years together, the whole thing came crashing down in spectacular fashion. Saweetie took to Twitter, now known as X, and told the entire world she was done with the relationship. She said she had endured too much betrayal and hurt behind the scenes, and that she was officially single. And Quavo? He wasn't about to just sit there and take that quietly. He came right back with a response of his own, saying something along the lines of, "You are not the woman I thought you were." So clearly, both sides of this breakup felt like they had been wronged by the other person. Now, if the breakup itself wasn't messy enough on its own, what happened next took things to a completely different level. TMZ got their hands on elevator surveillance footage from 2020 that showed a physical altercation between the two of them. In the video, you can see Quavo appearing to swing Saweetie into the elevator wall, and she swings back at him, and then the two of them are struggling over an orange suitcase before she limps out of the elevator. No charges were ever filed by either party, but the footage sparked a massive nationwide conversation about what was really going on in that relationship behind all those Instagram photos and fancy gifts. And right around that same exact time, that's when the whispers started creeping in. People on the internet began saying that the breakup wasn't just about Quavo and Saweetie not getting along anymore. The rumor, and this is the rumor that would change everything, was that Saweetie had gotten romantically involved with someone extremely close to Quavo, someone who was practically family. We're talking about Offset, Quavo's own cousin and fellow Migos bandmate, who also happened to be married to none other than Cardi B herself. And when you hear Quavo talk about the situation now, you can tell it still weighs on him. He doesn't name names or go into specifics, but the pain of what happened within that group is right there on the surface.
I ain't trying to answer them any questions. Family gonna be family. It's just how it be.
And what makes that even heavier is the way he talks about loyalty, how it's the one thing that matters most to him, and how it wasn't always on display from the people closest to him.
We just stand on loyalty. You know what I mean? We stand on real deal loyalty. And, you know, sometimes that shit ain't displayed.
That right there tells you everything you need to know about where Quavo's head is at. He didn't have to say Offset's name. He didn't have to say Saweetie's name. The message was loud and clear. Now, at first, the rumors about Offset and Saweetie were just whispers, little bits of internet gossip floating around on blog posts and fan pages. The kind of thing that typically pops up, gets talked about for a couple of days, and then disappears into the void of the internet. But these particular rumors did not disappear. They did not go away. In fact, they got louder and louder with each passing month. And then in 2022, something happened that poured jet fuel on the entire situation. Quavo and Takeoff, rest in peace to that man, dropped a track called Messy off their collaborative album Only Built for Infinity Links. And the lyrics in that song had absolutely everybody pointing fingers and connecting dots. Quavo rapped lines that fans and media outlets immediately interpreted as him accusing Saweetie of sleeping with Offset. People took the phrase "my dog" to be a direct reference to Offset, and the music video for the song even went so far as to reenact that infamous elevator incident, which obviously just added even even more fuel to an already raging fire. Now here's where things start to directly involve Cardi B in a very personal way, because think about it. If your husband is being publicly accused of sleeping with another high-profile rapper, a woman that you have to see at award shows and industry events, that's not something you can just scroll past and pretend you didn't see. And to her credit, Cardi B did address it, but she did it in a very smart, very calculated way. In January of 2023, she went on The Jason Lee Show and explained that she chose not to respond publicly because doing so would only give the rumors more validity. She basically said that if she put somebody else's business out there or spoke on the situation directly, people would just turn around and say she was upset because the rumors were actually true. So she made the decision to keep her mouth shut, at least in public. But behind the scenes, the tension between these two women was clearly building up like pressure in a pipe. And it wasn't just affecting Cardi and Saweetie. The fallout from these rumors is believed by many people to have played a significant role in the fracture within Migos themselves. The group that gave us Bad and Bougé, the group that gave us 3 Culture albums, the group that practically defined a whole era of trap music, they were falling apart. And a whole lot of people believed it all traced back to this one single rumor about Offset and Saweetie. Meanwhile, Saweetie was doing everything in her power to stay out of the crossfire. Back in March of 2021, right when the breakup happened, she had gone on The Breakfast Club and flat out denied any beef with Cardi B, calling the rumors blown out of proportion. She even said the two of them were waiting for the right record to collaborate on, which made it sound like everything was totally fine between them. And in a separate interview, when Saweetie was asked about Cardi, she had nothing but good things to say.
What is one thing we don't know about Cardi?
She's a really sweet and down-to-earth girl.
That's about as positive as it gets. And on top of that, Cardi's own sister, Hennessy Carolina, went on Instagram Live to shut down the feud rumors entirely, saying that the managers from both camps had actually talked about doing a joint project and that fans needed to stop trying to create narratives that didn't exist. So at that point in time, it seemed like maybe, just maybe, this whole situation was going to blow over. Maybe it was all just internet noise. Maybe people were making something out of nothing, but it didn't blow over. Not even close, because by 2024, the drama between Cardi B and Saweetie had reached a level that nobody saw coming. And that brings us to what many people consider the first real piece of heated footage in this entire saga: the Oscars confrontation and the fallout. So now we're in March of 2024. The setting is the Vanity Fair Oscars after party, one of the most exclusive, most high-profile events in all of Hollywood. This is the kind of place where you walk in and you see A-list movie stars, legendary producers, and maybe a handful of musicians all rubbing elbows over champagne and overpriced appetizers. What you absolutely do not expect to see at an event like this is two of the biggest names in rap nearly coming to blows with each other. But according to multiple reports, that is exactly what almost happened. Sources claimed that Cardi B approached Saweetie at the after party screaming, "So what you got to say now?" A very clear, very direct reference to the affair rumors that had been following both of them around for years at that point. Witnesses who were there said that Saweetie held her ground completely. She did not back down. She did not flinch. And fortunately, the whole exchange stayed verbal. No punches were thrown, no drinks were tossed, and the LAPD was never called to intervene. But even though it didn't get physical, the damage was absolutely done. In the days that followed, Cardi took to social media and posted a video implying she had run into somebody and had words with them, though she never actually said Saweetie's name. But she didn't have to. The internet figured it out in about 5 seconds flat. Viral clips, recreations, and commentary about the argument started popping up on every platform imaginable: X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. And just like that, the Cardi B versus Saweetie narrative was right back at the top of everybody's timeline. Now, you might think that after a face-to-face confrontation like that, the two of them in the same room, words being exchanged, the whole world watching, you might think that one of them would have finally just come out and addressed the entire situation once and for all. But that's not how this works in the entertainment industry. Instead, the drama just kept simmering under the surface, getting hotter and hotter with every passing month throughout the rest of 2024 and well into 2025. And then in August of 2025, DJ Academics decided to throw a whole barrel of gasoline onto what was already a pretty big fire. During an interview, he accused Offset of cheating on Cardi B with not just 1 or 2 women, but a whole list of names that included Saweetie, Chrissy Rock, Ari Fletcher, 10 women from the club Starlets, and 2 more names he said he wouldn't even mention out loud. The way he laid it all out was jarring, to say the least.
You actually put out that Offset fucked Chrisean, Ari Fletcher,
What's up, man?
Sweetie, 10 bitches from Starlets.
And what made the whole thing even crazier was that academics genuinely seemed shocked that people didn't already know all of this information. Like he thought this was all common knowledge.
So I just thought everybody, I'm like, yo, I thought everybody knew this.
He even admitted that when the female fan pages started reacting with shock, he realized he had actually broken news without even meaning to.
So when I said it, I didn't know all these like female pages were like, what? Like, oh.
That sent shockwaves through the entire internet, because now it wasn't just a rumor between anonymous fans on Twitter anymore. It was being stated openly, with actual names attached, on one of the biggest interview platforms in hip-hop media. Then, in October of 2025, Offset himself finally broke his silence on the Saweetie rumors. He sat down for an interview on Baby, This Is Keke Palmer, and when the question about Saweetie came up, he didn't dodge it. His response was very direct.
Was there truth to you and Saweetie?
No, man. It was a rumor, man.
He called it a rumor, plain and simple, flat out denied it. But then he said something else that caught a lot of people's attention, something that made people think there was way more to this story than anyone realized.
I feel like it was something deeper than that for the split of me and bro.
So, according to Offset, whatever happened between him and Quavo that caused Migos to fall apart had absolutely nothing to do with Saweetie. He said the real issue was something deeper, something he didn't want to get into publicly. And then he took it even further, suggesting that outside forces and business interests were deliberately working to break apart everything he had built.
And you think there were business people that were plotting on you both?
For sure.
And when the interviewer followed up on the idea that people were actively trying to keep Offset and Quavo from being a united front, Offset confirmed it without hesitation.
And they were creating you guys, stopping you guys from being strong so that y'all couldn't go together against that.
Exactly.
Now, whether you believe that or not is entirely up to you. But what you can't deny is that the damage from these rumors, real or not, was already done. Offset's marriage to Cardi B had been deteriorating for years, and by July of 2024, Cardi B filed for divorce for the second time. She had filed once before back in September of 2020, only to reconcile a few weeks later. But this time around, things felt different. This time felt like there was no going back. And to Offset's credit, he didn't try to play the victim in all of this. In that same interview, he was remarkably honest about where things went wrong in his marriage.
I should have respected her way more. You know what I mean? I made bad decisions as a man, like stepping out, like.
He openly admitted to stepping out on Cardi. He took full responsibility for the mistakes he made.
Like, that's why when she left, I had to take that on the chin, cause like, I could have been we got so much our kids to live for.
And he called himself selfish for the way he handled things. That's a big thing for a man in hip hop to say publicly.
I was being selfish, you know what I mean? And I can say that as a man, I'm a grown man.
He also opened up about how difficult it is to deal with all of this playing out in the public eye. The constant headlines, the social media commentary, the opinions from millions of strangers who don't know your life.
Bro, you feel like you're getting bullied. Like, I used to never say nothing.
So while the Saweetie rumors may or may not be true, and it's worth noting that as of early 2026, no concrete evidence whatsoever, like photos, text messages, or direct admissions, has ever surfaced to prove the affair happened, the fallout from those rumors has been devastatingly real. Migos fractured, Cardi filed for divorce, and the internet got a story that it is still absolutely not done talking about. But what came next is where this whole saga takes yet another wild turn. Because while all of this Offset and Saweetie drama was playing out, Cardi B decided to move on with her life, and the person she moved on with, that's the last person anyone on this planet expected. Cardi's new chapter, the breakup, and what happens now. So here we are. It's late 2024. Cardi B has just filed for divorce from Offset for the second time. The Saweetie rumors are still lingering in the air like cigarette smoke that won't clear out of a room, and the whole entire world is sitting there watching and waiting to see what Cardi B's next move is going to be. And what she did next genuinely shocked everybody, because Cardi B, the woman at the very center of one of the messiest love triangles in modern hip-hop history, started dating an NFL player. And not just any random NFL player sitting on somebody's practice squad. We're talking about Stephon Diggs, the star wide receiver for the New England Patriots. The two of them first started getting linked together around October of 2024, right on the heels of the divorce filing, but they were smart about it at first and kept things relatively quiet and under the radar. It wasn't until May of 2025, when they were spotted sitting together at a New York Knicks game, that people started putting two and two together. And then in June of 2025, Cardi went ahead and confirmed the whole relationship on Instagram with a photo of the two of them together, making it official for all the world to see and comment on, and things moved incredibly fast after that. By September of 2025, Cardi announced that she was pregnant with Diggs' child, and then in November of 2025, the couple welcomed a son together, making it Cardi's 4th child overall, and reportedly Diggs' 6th from various relationships. Everything seemed like it was going really well between them. The two of them looked happy. They were supporting each other publicly, and in fact, just one single week before the Super Bowl in February of 2026, Diggs told reporters in an interview that an engagement was on the agenda once the football season was over. Think about that. The man was talking about putting a ring on it. Now, while all of this was happening, Offset was watching from the sidelines. And if you go back to that interview he did on Baby, this is Keke Palmer, you can hear just how much the whole situation was eating at him. He talked about wanting the divorce to be over, not out of spite, but because the constant media attention was drowning out what really mattered.
Do you want it to be finalized?
I'm ready to be over it, for it to be over with, yeah.
And his reasoning for wanting it done was actually surprisingly thoughtful. He said the public drama was blinding people to who they actually are as artists.
It blinds the people to what we are to the people, which is our artists. It blinds them because
For a while,
it's too
I thought if it was a
That's a man who clearly understands that the circus around his personal life has become bigger than his music, and he admitted openly that if he could do it all over again, he would have kept the entire relationship out of the public eye.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if I could rewrite the book, I would have never been public. It would have never been public, you know what I mean? Or public, like it had just never been public.
And that's real, because as much as Offset has been painted as the villain in all of this, when you actually listen to the man talk, you can hear the regret. He knows he messed up. He knows things could have been different. But then Super Bowl LX happened, and everything between Cardi and Diggs changed overnight. On February 8th, 2026, the Patriots took on the Seattle Seahawks in Las Vegas for the biggest game in football, and it was an absolute disaster for Diggs and the Patriots. They lost 29-13 in a game that wasn't even close. Diggs himself had a rough outing, finishing with just 4 catches for 52 yards. And then almost immediately after the final whistle blew, things between him and Cardi started looking very, very strange. During halftime, Cardi had actually made a surprise appearance during Bad Bunny's performance, which was a cool moment by all accounts. But here's the thing. Reports say that she left the stadium early after halftime, choosing not to stay for the rest of the game, and even skipping the after party that she herself had planned, and reportedly spent over $1 million putting together. And then came the moment that truly set the entire internet ablaze. Fans noticed that Cardi and Diggs had unfollowed each other on Instagram right after the game ended. And in the world of celebrity relationships in 2026, unfollowing somebody on Instagram is basically the modern equivalent of a neon sign that reads, "It's over." And as if that wasn't messy enough on its own, Diggs was spotted at the Super Bowl with Pre, who is described as Offset's alleged mistress. You literally cannot make this stuff up. The connections and overlapping storylines in this whole saga are like a spider web that just keeps getting more tangled and more complicated with every single thing that happens. By February 11th, just 3 days after the Super Bowl, Cardi kicked off her highly anticipated Little Miss Drama tour in Palm Desert, California. And on that very first night of the tour, in front of a packed crowd, she fought back tears on stage, telling the audience, "I do not want to be emotional," as she tried to hold it together while clearly going through something deeply personal. On the other side, Diggs started posting cryptic quotes on his Instagram about gratitude and controlling what you can control, with the comments section turned off so nobody could even ask him what was going on. And because no internet drama is complete without him, 50 Cent jumped in to troll Diggs online, shading him over the split just to add a little extra hot sauce to an already spicy situation. Now here's where this whole story comes full circle in the most dramatic way possible. Because with Cardi suddenly single again and clearly going through it emotionally, guess who came crawling right back into the picture? That's right, Offset, the man she's been trying to divorce for years. Reports started surfacing that Offset has been actively trying to get back with Cardi, telling her that he's more genuine than Stefon Diggs ever was. He even allegedly sent Cardi 10,000 balloons for Valentine's Day 2026, 10,000 individual balloons. That's not just a romantic gesture, that's practically a whole parade float. And honestly, when you listen to the way Offset talks about the relationship, you can tell a part of him genuinely believes there's still a chance. He talked about how hard it is to move on when the whole world is constantly in your business.
Yeah, it's hard to move on.
It's hard to move on from it, exactly.
It's hard to move on when people keep telling you.
And that's the tragedy of this whole situation. Whether Offset truly wants Cardi back because he loves her, or whether it's just the pain of watching her move on with someone else, the man is clearly not over it. He said it himself in that very same interview.
Nah, it's
So it's real.
It's real life, man. It's real life.
But here's the thing that makes this even more interesting. Cardi reportedly rejected every single one of Offset's attempts to reconcile. Fact checkers have confirmed that fake screenshots showing Cardi refollowing Offset on social media are completely false. She has not refollowed him. She has not taken him back. And as of February 15th, 2026, their divorce is still not finalized, reportedly because of ongoing disputes over finances, custody arrangements, and spousal support that Offset is demanding. And through all of this chaos, through the affair rumors, the leaked footage, the Oscars confrontation, the divorce proceedings, the new boyfriend, and the very public breakup, Saweetie has mostly kept her head down and stayed out of the drama. She's been focusing on her music career, her writing camps, and her relationship with English soccer player Jadon Sancho, who she's been dating since early 2025. The man got her middle name tattooed behind his ear, which says a lot about how serious things are between them. But the internet has a long memory, and every single time something new happens in the ongoing Cardi B saga, Saweetie's name gets dragged right back into the conversation whether she wants it to or not. Fans on X still bring up the rumors on a daily basis. Bloggers still write think pieces about it, and that heated footage from the Oscars, along with the leaked clips from 2025, keeps getting recycled and reshared, pulling in hundreds of thousands of views every time it resurfaces. So what's the real takeaway from this entire saga? The honest truth is that nobody outside of these three people really knows what happened between Offset and Saweetie. Offset says it never happened. Saweetie hasn't confirmed a thing, and Cardi B made the calculated decision not to speak on it directly. But the rumors alone, whether they're true or completely made up, have been enough to cause real, lasting, measurable damage. Damage to relationships, damage to a legendary rap group, and damage to reputations that took years to build. As for Cardi, right now, as you're watching this video, she's out there on her Little Miss Drama tour, performing through the pain and the heartbreak, raising 4 kids, and trying to finally close the chapter on a marriage that the entire world has been watching crumble for the better part of a decade. Whether she ends up back with Offset, patches things up with Diggs, or decides to ride solo for a while, one thing is absolutely certain: this story is nowhere near finished, and whatever twist comes next, you already know the internet is going to have plenty to say about it. But that's the thing about this industry, isn't it? Sometimes the music is almost secondary. The real show, the real entertainment, is in the messy, complicated, painfully human lives of the people who make it. And right now, nobody on this planet is putting on a bigger show than Cardi B, Saweetie, and everybody caught up in between them. Love this video? Click on these cards for more.